Vodafone presents the pre-match.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are kind of underway here. Obviously, different voices to bring you this matchup, and it is Das Boot is what we've titled it, Jason.
Das Boot.
You're so into it. I love it.
I'm really into that. I like it.
Yeah.
mousesports taking on B.O.O.T, the Singaporean team. So good stuff. We just saw the upset. Tai Lu taking down SK. You want to have some initial reactions to that? How are you feeling? Good? Frisky? Fun? Happy?
I'll go for one of those words. I'll say frisky.
Cool.
Yeah, I love a good upset. No, I don't know what to make of it. I think no one does. I think that's one of those that you're just going to sit there and just kind of mull over for a while, because in all accounts, in all worlds, that really shouldn't be happening. So, Jason, please. He mocks me because I'm short. And
Listen, I don't often get to be the
feelings.
tall person in the room, so I thought I'd, make a spectacle of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I know this is dangerous. I think kind of like the conversation around all these matches on the B stream today are going to be how one-sided of affair they are on paper, and obviously we saw it not to be the case with Tai Lu SK. I think that's a little bit different with the upheaval that SK's had, but this certainly mousesports taking on B.O.O.T. mousesports is going to be just huge favorites.
Yeah, no, mousesports are in a very good position currently. I think everyone's seeing the form that they're coming in with. I think the online performances has been almost unparalleled. In Europe especially as well. They've been really pushing their limits, the way they've been playing. Henry's becoming, such a big advocate for their play style. But it does seem as though we do have an interview with one of the teams, so we can have a little bit of a chat with them and find out where they're at to keep you guys informed.
You treat players different for sure. I mean, I think that's one of the things I've learned for sure over the years, is that you need to realize that everybody's different. Everybody's coming from, people always say like, yeah, it's because he's coming from a different country. He has different culture and whatnot, but I mean, everybody has a different life, right? Everybody has certain things they like or don't like, so you need to adjust to that. You need to make everybody comfortable. I give the players the freedom to play how they want, where they need to. It's like I'm not forcing, I'm not controlling too much how everybody's playing, or sometimes not at all. I mean, I just realized that all my players are really good, and most of them are actually better than me, so they can decide better how to play situations. So I just try to call more general directions, keep the team upbeat and on the same level with the idea that we want to play for a round, or the same kind of motivation. You have to make sacrifices if you want to be a good team player. I mean, not everybody can play exactly how they want to get the most kills, and that's something that I try to do when needed, to just go in front and give my teammate a better opportunity to win a round later. I try to keep the mood good, but most importantly, when we play matches, I try to keep the energy up, try to get everybody to really fight for a game, and not just, I don't know, I remember in games in the past that the energy level in the team was just so low and people are just playing worse when they feel like, okay, it's just a game. You need to realize we really want to reach something. You need to convince everybody of that. I feel like we were really disappointed how we played in during Marseille, even though you can say top 8, it's like a decent result, right? And it is decent, but we want to reach more, so we're ready to fight again here.
Yeah, I think we will have to say Marseille was a little bit of a letdown for them, I think, considering what most people expected from them coming into it. And they seem very well aware of that themselves. Obviously, they had a bit of a, not necessarily a chip on their shoulder, but it was a lot of people's expectations for mousesports to do very well. And that clearly wasn't quite the case.
Well, I think the kind of the interesting thing about mousesports is at the end of last year, they were having that period where they were rising up through the ranks and they were an exciting team. And when you talk about them in that kind of a context, you're always impressed and you're always like, oh my God, this mousesports team is so cool. And now that they've kind of established themselves as one of the best teams in the world, the expectations change. And certainly Marseille, one of the favorites to actually win that, especially considering all the roster changes they had coming into with some of the big European teams and all the question marks of the North American teams with roster changes. So now all of a sudden you kind of have to see where they can consistently stand. But either way, we've got an interview with B.O.O.T, so we'll check it out with them.
My name is Alex, alias also Alex. We're B.O.O.T Dreamscape. We're from Singapore. I was brought in to help them improve individually in terms of timing, spacings, tactical aspect of the game and stuff, because they felt as though they needed some outside help. We're doing modular practice right now, so we're just focusing on one aspect at one time. Right now it's just adding things to the game. This is Leslie's first LAN tournament in his life overseas, and it's also Winter's first tournament overseas as well. They've all played multiple LANs in Singapore, but still Singapore is so small. So they're going to be tested mentally and everything for the first time. I'm hoping they rise up to the challenge. The rest of them, the other 3 of them, they're cool. They've played in Sweden, they have some experience. This tournament, I think we're playing Greyhound first. I mean, we're looking forward to it. I think in the past we have played them before and we did quite well. So hopefully we can replicate this, start a small rivalry. We're here to learn as well as try to win. Like Australians play a different brand of CS. The Thais play differently. Although we have more opportunities to play against them. We love traveling and we love going to LAN. Like even when I was playing with them, it's like the thing we look forward to most. We just wanted to qualify and get chances to play. Every chance we got, we're like, yes, get out of Singapore. Go play some CS, try and beat someone. So right now the goal is to beat some Australians. I just make sure they don't change too much. Like, we still got here, so they must be doing something right. I just try and make sure that they keep doing it. As long as they bring that online game to LAN, follow what they believe in, don't change too much. Even if they're down, I'm sure they can come back.
Interesting concept with them, isn't it? It's always curious when these teams come across and they do get that breakout kind of opportunity to maybe show us a little something, and it can be impressive. We've seen that in the past, plenty of times. Upsets and best of ones, they happen. But discussing, where this will be played, the arena of the battle, right? Map pool wise, I don't know where you're going to sit on this because it's very hard to get any sort of founding behind B.O.O.T. I think we just have to see what they play. But if you're mousesports, attitude wise, surely you just going to play to your best strengths.
Exactly. If you're mousesports, you're taking out your weak maps. You're not kind of allowing anything through. We've seen some teams kind of flirt with that strategy where you kind of practice your lesser played maps. I think the tough part for B.O.O.T. is going to be their most played map is Mirage, and if you're mousesports, you're at the moment considered to be one of the best teams in the world on Mirage. So you're going to be more than happy to play that, and I think that's something, oddly enough, for B.O.O.T., it has one of their lower middling win percentages on it. I think we could actually see a nuke, wouldn't surprise me, but actually they're going to take that out as well, so it is going to be Mirage, which is just kind of, start shoveling the dirt now onto that,
Yeah, it's a rough one. Mousesports are very diligent, but again, if you're B.O.O.T. coming into this, you have to find a way, right? There's very few opportunities to be able to find a map where you're going to flourish on, right?
And it's not a bad. I mean, I know it's kind of like you're in a lose-lose scenario if you're going to Mirage and that's your comfort map, but at the same time, if you're B.O.O.T., this is one of those events where you can kind of test yourself against the world's best in the world. So you want to kind of get a map that you're comfortable on, that you have some adaptations if you run into some struggles. So you can kind of see where your strengths and weaknesses lie, what's the next step to work on. And I think that's kind of going up against mousesports. This is one of those maps where B.O.O.T. just says, not likely to win it. We're going to put our best out there. We're obviously going to try and win. But really that second matchup is the one where we think we could grab the upset. Here on Mirage against mousesports, not the greatest chances.
No, a lot of mousesports strength comes through on that map. You see a lot of what works for them very well. And I like what Chris J said as well, him taking the moments where he knows he has to back away and let others have a bit of the limelight. He has to be that support player every now and then. Because not too long ago, he was one of the more, I guess, superstar-ish players on that roster, going back some time. But he was always meant to be one of those players to perform. Now he's got other people who just seem to be able to have that ability as well.
It's interesting as well because him being the star player didn't work for a lot of the teams he was on, as unfortunate as it is to say that. And actually, on an individual level, he's even performing much, much better now that he's taken up more of a leadership role. We see him have some of those big games. And I think his development as a leader of this team cannot go understated or overstated. I guess is how it's supposed to be said. It's very impressive the way that the things that he's been able to do as a team or as a leader for this team. So very, very cool. And we are going to get live here. I want to see Chris get back into the pajama pants. Remember when he used to wear pajama pants to every event?
I mean, I did.
He's now got in like the sneaker game, which is cool and all, but you can't like rock those baller sneakers with pajama pants. I'd prefer he goes back and makes the PJs his thing.
His aesthetic?
Yep.
Look, I'm down for whatever. The one thing I really like to see is that P250 becoming such a consistent factor now on T-sides. Gives you that fight in middle that you can actually take and really do work with. Considering wherever Ro8 is, though, the guy's super talented. So Benkai could be in trouble. He's got a little bit of contact off ramp, going to fall away from this. Doesn't outstay welcome. Bit of a wrap coming in through middle. It looks like mousesports are keeping things pretty much as you'd expect. Well considered at the moment. And still 5 alive, though, for the CTs. No first blood, really. A lot of real estate gained by that T side.
I think mousesports is kind of confused about how much ground they're being given. This is a lot of space that Booting is letting mousesports have, and if this is what's going to happen, Sunny's going to be able to take advantage. You can see Benkai just trapped. There's no good fight you can take from that angle, and even the rotations are going to get cut off as well. And mousesports, they've been given too much space, and they're going to be able to get a clean sweep. All 5 players surviving, and a pretty easy pissed around.
Yeah, good stuff for mousesports as well. You kind of want to shake off the idea of what if they just come out and they're nuts, right? Because they have no idea of who these guys are individually. There could be that like crazy end, like what? Look at SK. I know that obviously the team they're up against is way more established, but again, just to get yourself rolling real quick, This is a perfect beginning.
One thing mousesports has over even SK in a matchup like this is SK at the moment with kind of this roster changes and as they've been, they do tend to like play with a decent amount of respect in all kind of situations. Mousesports is the team we see them buying shotguns. We see Oscar on train like running up ladders with an AWP in certain matches. This mousesports team, when they get a big lead, they like to have fun, and that could just pile on.
This could bode well, at least from viewing-wise. Tommy's been able to find Sunny there. That's a problem. The Deagle finding Oscar actually is a bit of an issue. That's going to bring it down to 3. The rifle's now coming to question. Isolation towards the top middle. You can see the response here. Chris J going to try and take over some control. Stico needs to find a way to stay alive. Pressured around, but he comes out well with 2. But there's still threats aboard, and Rops finds out the hard way. That's a USPS, and Rops falls, and Chris J's gone too. It's a shocker. mousesports got comfortable for a second. Got a little in there. I like the play with the MAC-10 straight up middle, trying to do something. The trades weren't effective, and that 3-man play up middle.
It's everything beyond that from mousesports where it just got a little bit too loose. Chris J making a play towards B, Rops making a play towards A, and well, I mean it's something that's going to work when the gun rounds come out. But when you lose that mid control in a round like that, and the pistols are able to just pick off players one by one, and Stico had to do some heroics to even keep that close. So. Not a disaster quite yet, still way too early to call it that, but definitely a bump in the road. For mousesports losing that second round. They've got the Deagles, they've got the CZ on Stico though. A lot of a lean towards this B bomb site. These halls, not a lot of utility, 2 flashbangs, good nade on towards Oscar. B.O.O.T's pretty content to just play behind their smokes, but now Winter's being pressured. There is a stack here, or 2 players at least. Winter is over towards, excuse me, that might be Tommy, but he's pushing up now coming from the corner, and he's going to be able to grab one, and this is pretty secure. There was some danger, but B.O.O.T doesn't overextend on the defense, and mousesports is dwindling.
Yeah, Sunny, your last man alive, does get the rifle back. Sure how much else he can really gather. Prepares what he has, but again, keeping hold of rifles can be always pretty darn useful, finding any room to work. Always fun, but I doubt he's going to get much more if you can take away some of the guns off the CTs. Perfect, but again, they're not letting that happen at all. And B.O.O.T, if you look at the way they've played this out, they've still got, what, 2 of the rifles up, 2 UMPs. They're in a good position going forward. It's 4 alive is a lovely way for them to really get back into this.
I think they're going to be in some trouble, though, when the guns come out, when you start seeing Oscar with the AWP and everything.
Who isn't in trouble?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a fair point to make. The tough part, I think, is going to be if we see that defense that B.O.O.T came out with on the pistol round, where they gave up a lot of room, where they allowed mousesports to have that mid control, get up towards jungle, basically uncontested. That's going to be a disaster of a CT half for B.O.O.T. But at the same time, if you're going to be aggressive, you're going to give Oscar, a chance with that AWP in mid to be able to just crush you. So they're going to have to be riding a very fine line between their aggressive and passive nature. And it's probably we're going to see some blunders and some errors. So they're going to have to recover a few rounds, 45 seconds in with a man down scenario, and we'll just see if they're up to the task.
It is that waiting game, isn't it? It's that testing period of just seeing what they can bring. It's very hard to kind of have any other theories towards this.
This is good though, because normally when you see just such a mismatch between 2 teams on paper, it is the CT side where that underdog team kind of struggles. And it's good that they're getting started here 2-1. It's very, very critical they don't lose too many players in this round. They need to build up as much money as possible. They do not want to be, if you add on, the individual skill gap between these players, if you add on to that an economic disadvantage for the defense, then that's where it starts to become just a nightmare, where you can really start getting flattened. So quietly a pretty big round here for B.O.O.T. Good start from Benkai.
It's a bit of CT side aggression. Always a bit of fun. Playing down towards ramp. Got 2 players going for it. Gets a little scary when you're against P250s and CZs and such, but hey, why not? And we are down to the 4 remaining players. Of course, the main man, eyes towards Sunny. See if anyone else can create those chances. Only a Glock, a P250 on Rops, and Glock again on Stico. So there's no one else to really create many opportunities. They have no utility to try and make a little bit of a play happen. So maybe just a trade-off of Chris or anyone else. Not a bad plan, but Bomb is heading towards B. Maybe hoping for something there. Or he could just be waiting and seeing what comes their way. Again, it's on Sunny to try and make that room to work. 48 seconds left.
He's not being too aggressive either, and I think the tough part is you want to see him kind of get assertive, because remember, he saved this AK-47. He's got $0, so even in the next round when mousesports buys, he's gonna have nothing but a pistol. And now actually, if Impression was able to turn that corner and find that kill, but he thinks there's nothing there. He spotted the information. He's gonna fall back towards the bomb site. 3 players over towards the B site. He's rotating away. There is just 1 player, and Ben Kai is gonna be exposed towards top ramp. This is a contact play, so mousesports is going to be quiet pretty much the whole way through, and there's the free kill from Sunny. That's a nice find, and now the bomb can go down at boot. They've rotated themselves out of position.
Impression needs to make one. That's not bad finding Robson, but the bomb is planted. It's Sunny again, still to be the main anchor here. 3 rifles up for the CTs on this retake. Chris J, Sticko need to be almost your information men, be really uncomfortable, make them awkward on this playback in. Sticko wants to do that. Good connection towards Splash. Not going to see if anyone else is there. Adjusting to a new angle. Making him walk in. No flashes, no utility. Chris J towards Impression. This is looking quite good now. This is getting worrying for Boot. Sticko strikes as well. And you're going to see a 2v1. Winter feeling left out in the cold. Finds Sticko, but the bomb is still ticking. No kit. He knows Sunny is close by, but Sunny knows it's a fake. And he knows he's just dancing with time here. Winter gets the kill, but it doesn't matter. mousesports just kind of getting feral in that round. What a contact play up ramp, as you said.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, mispositioning by Ben Kai. I don't know if he got the communication properly that his teammate was rotating away. He had no one to cover or spot that ramp, so he turns into a free kill. But that's just Boot maybe feeling too much pressure considering the scenario. They had a 5-on-4. They had to have known, yes, there's an AK save, but other than that, mousesports likely not going to invest in that previous round, so mostly pistols and unarmored, and they try to cheat towards that B bomb site. You don't need to run a stack in that fashion on a round like that, and they get punished for it. Still some money in the bank, though. You can see Splash has that AWP. The rifles are out. Some kits on the board as well. But equally, mousesports have everything they could possibly want.
Yeah, this looks assertive as well. mousesports aren't resting for a second. Quick mid-take coming out. Really, Sunny's kind of positioning comes through quite quick. Flash in from short, tries to allow the CTs a bit of information. Doesn't really happen. Backfires, if anything. Sunny now knows they're close. But he's playing that smoke well. Impression plays it better. 4v4. 2 players towards connector. Sticko now up to task. Does he have the challenge going? Flash does play him in on the first. The second catches him. Forces him away, and you can see the response dying to come in from Winter on short. Good trades coming out from Boot. They're keeping this effective, but there's still that A hit coming through.
This isn't a bad position to be in, though, if you're Boot. You've controlled mid, so you know there's only the A-bomb, so you have to worry about. It's a retake from here. Rob's going to try and gain ground. Doesn't clear all the way in towards connector. It's Oscar up next with that AWP. He's also got the bomb, though, and he's got a plant, and this is a bold, bold plant to go for. Nothing in the way, and no one peeks.
Ooh, Oscar. All right, let's look at this crossfire setup by the T side here. You've got Chris J playing towards ramp, going to hold the cross maybe. Deep smoke from CT, that's quite nice. But that's nicer. Oscar going to be forced out of position, but he's up to the task. Ben Kai gets drilled, and now it's a 1v2. Winter trying to play it back in, and Chris J's just being a nuisance, buying time. Awkward positioning, and even gets the kill. Great work from Oscar, but that plant was just... All right,
that's a
got
bold,
3 players up.
Yeah, that's a bold play, isn't it? I mean, I guess you're kind of in a desperate scenario, right? Where
Yeah.
you either plant for CT spawn and you have to worry about that player peeking, or you plant front, you have to worry about connector. Tough part is Chris J was in no position to cover either one of those angles, so Oscar just goes for it. And perhaps the passive nature of Boot in that round can't really fault him considering the scenario. Pays off for mousesports, but now they have to survive another anti-eco, anti-force by their Sunny with the MAC-10. He spots one jumping across, gonna peek for more, and he sees him in the bomb site, so gets passive. mousesports pretty well set up to not take too much damage from this, although there is a stack over at A.
Could be good for Sunny and the funds, if it does go all right, but we'll find out. He's testing the waters. He seems quite aware that there's the potential of a stack. Molotov towards stairs does spread slightly, but not enough to really threaten anyone. But he's showing presence. He's keeping the stack there. Smoke comes in. No one can see it. All in the meanwhile, the bomb is looking towards B. So Sunny does find Tommy. And I'm wondering if he gets much more out of this player up there towards the balcony. Again, good work from Sunny. Just kind of piece by piece. Smoke allowing him to be quite methodical about the approach to just dismantling that A stack there.
That's a really nice little play from Sunny over at the A ramp. That smoke helping out wonderfully to get 2 kills with the MAC-10 and then fall away safely. Looking for the counter-aggression from Boot, but it's not coming. And all they have to do now is secure a way to retreat away from the bomb. Shouldn't be too difficult. Chris might be given the gift of 1 or 2 frags here. Easy cleanup on that player Sunny was able to tag, and the follow-up onto Winter, it's just Ben Kai. And Sticko doesn't need to move past this position, and he might just get a free kill. Ben Kai's aware that he's there, but doesn't really have the weaponry to fight it. So 4-2 for mousesports. They regain the advantage. recovering from that slight hiccup.
Yeah, and it's been a good bounce back. Clean round there, really helps out. Nice money built up by Sunny. Now coming to this one, curious what Boot go for. They've got a little bit of cash to play with. Obviously don't want to get too much, but do have the Deagle and armor with impression. Benkai as well going in.
I think other teams, if they were like, you know, if mousesports was playing, you know, one of the top 10 teams, I think we would have seen a buy out of a CT side. But I don't mind this kind of a play with the pistols for Boot. You want to make sure you have as many gun rounds as possible to get some momentum going. You know, if you get into that war of attrition where you're constantly on like half buys with low utility or, you know, no smokes or anything like that, you're just eventually going to get ground down and lose. Yeah, Sunny is his love in life right now. He does this against every team as well. So against Boot, he's certainly going to be going for this aggressive take of mid by himself.
I don't know if they expect him to be this close up. They've obviously fallen off this, but even if they expect it, it's going to be hard with that Deagle. You need that one shot to land, and he does do just that. Nice work from Impression. Winter as well towards Chris J. These Deagles fit well into the hands of Boot, making it look quite natural here as 3 players remain for mousesports. Pretty curious as to what's gone on, but Winter gets pushed aside as Ro8 breaks through, and A looks a little more vulnerable, but still relatively alone here. Flashed in, didn't see the player towards stairs, and CT strikes. This is worrying stuff here. This is a couple of rounds where these Deagles will look deadly, and Benkai finds Oscar, heads rolling as Sticko's left in a 1v4.
Surely an unwinnable scenario for Stico as well. mousesports again, just getting spread far too thin. Gonna find one, knows one's in the bomb site as well, finds that transition. That's beautiful, but he can't do any more than that. Low HP, players coming from 2 different angles. No ability to transfer over to the next target, and weapons are going to be recovered from Boot. That's the second time they've won a round like that, Lauren. The Deagles, the CZs, they're doing work for Boot so far.
And it's not just the cheesy CZs. I don't think we've seen them buy a CZ yet.
One or two.
Was there one maybe?
Yeah, I mean, the Deagles have been doing the primarily the work on those, haven't they?
It's been really impressive. It's quite nice to see.
They're getting bailed out by a lot of mousesports kind of taking some individual fights and trying to make progress on an individual nature. And you can kind of understand why if you're mousesports that they want to go for this. Just the overwhelming individual ability. Great duelists and guys like Sunny. Boot's actually done a great job of managing his aggression. Great duelist in Ro8 to make individual plays when he feels the time is right, and he's been punished as well. So not going quite according to plan for mousesports.
No, the gun rounds have still looked relatively good, though, I will say that, to a degree. It's when they're up against the pistols, it's where the problems begin. So that could be the case here. Benkai seems well aware that we do know that Sunny likes to get aggressive wherever he can, be it up short, be it into the window, be it up connector. But this time, chosen to get into connector. And it looks like a bit of a default from Mouse here. Just going to take their time a little, hit the brakes, see what they can achieve. Maybe kind of being, not necessarily humbled, but kind of being forced to play a more normal style.
Which is really cool to see. Nice opening kill from Benkai. Goes Stico. No ability to trade that, no ability to gain any ground from it. Ro8 is going to be challenged here in Palace. Gets the angle on Splash, but doesn't find the kill, so he's able to fall back. And now Connector is exposed. A crossfire from Catwalk and the A bomb site eliminates Sunny. He's been tempered in mid early on in this game. And it's a 3-on-5. mousesports just bleeding players away as they try and make progress. Oscar with 1 kill, but now Tommy. Oh, that's a great one tap. Ends Oscar as he tries to go for the follow-up peek, and Chris J as well. And it's all on Ro8, so 1 versus 2, 20 seconds. The bomb is over towards Catwalk.
I don't see it happening, but prove me wrong, Ro8. Tommy looked like he wanted to have a fight there, but not going to be gifted that chance. Ro8 looking for more, but time ticking. You've got 10 seconds, Ro8. Even if you get this, the mouse wheel jump as well. Just what you want to be seeing. Boot, though, let's take nothing away from him or them here. They've been playing exceptionally well. This is nice. This is good CS. Don't get me wrong, mousesports, of course, have drastically more potential. You'd imagine they have a lot more looks to go towards. But what we're seeing right now is a good game of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it really is. This is nice from Boot. And it's all stemming from the fact that they're not taking too much damage in mid early on. And I think that's likely where we see the change from mousesports moving forward is obviously this play from sending Sunny towards mid. It's been effective for him in the past, but at the moment it's being read perfectly by Boot. They're able to take him out. They're able to minimize damage and even take, absolutely no damage. Now, the AWP purchase from Oscar could surprise them, but he hasn't been able to get involved quite yet. It's at top mid, and he's been forced away, and Splash still going to hold the angle, not aware of the purchase at the moment. And again, Boot just playing very disciplined, content with that 1-player lead, and they're just going to fall back and play it passively and wait for mousesports to make the next decision.
Good approach. This is going to be the day of upsets. It's so early in the game. I just like to, you know, bait the people in chat too. Like, it's not gonna be. It's only 4-4. God, you gotta rile them up early.
Yeah.
That's how you make loads of points. Tommy, a little overwhelmed. That nade though was excellent, and Winter to Oscar. He's just filth. Doesn't matter what he's doing. It's still just like landing bangers. It's all right. Oscar, you've got to do a 1v5 here, mate. I'm not believing. I'll give you that. I'm kind of still on board. Oscar. Oh, it's excellent! Oscar, 30 seconds. Show me what you're made of here. Impression and splash. You got one on A, one towards B. Smokes it out, 25 seconds. It looks like he's choosing to go towards B here. Splash, the other AWPer. Is Oscar ready for it? Is he up to task? He's going to be heading in there, and Splash doesn't know this is a possibility. Now he does. He's going to hear the steps. Bomb plant goes in. Splash is getting closer, but there's time. There's a second, and you do not get to miss against Oscar. He jumps out of the way. He sets the floor on fire, and he might just do the same to this round. He readjusts so well. Oscar is playing out of his mind. This is perfect. One more man stands in his way. No kit on Impression. And Oscar, he sits and waits. Impression finds a way in, and what heartbreak after absolute brilliance. Impression, well, he puts his foot down.
That was a 1 versus 5. That is so beautiful from Oscar. You could feel it building up. You have to say though, I mean, not winning that is fine. Look at the kills he gets, the money he takes away. That's huge for mousesports moving forward.
Oscar, you're nuts.
That's those things that you can't match if you're B.O.O.T though, no matter how well you play these rounds. And obviously you play that like pretty much perfectly up until the 5-on-1, right? And even some of those kills, you can't even fault B.O.O.T. Those are some magnificent shots from Oscar, starting with that spin around in ladder room, which was just low percentage to begin with. Those are the things that you can't really contend with now because of that AWP. Remember, that was the only gun bought by mousesports. They had pistols other than that. So now they don't get to bring the AWP into this round, but it's okay. Chris has the SMG, and in his hands it's
actually pretty good.
not the same thing, yeah, but it's got some power to it. And they're going to go away from that mid control. They're just going to go for a straight up A execute. Chris being aggressive through this smoke. Underhanding the flashbang's going to come through, trying to clear things out. Hasn't been able to find anyone just yet, though. Now going for the plant. They can stop this if they come through the smoke. Oof. But Benkai didn't want to play with it.
Okay.
Got a little bit scared.
It's intimidating sometimes, you know? Takes a little bit of time to warm up into it. But Sunny, to find Tommy, I love those close smokes, allows those SMGs and that plant specifically to come into play. I love that. Good approach from Mouse. And we saw the kind of passive nature from B.O.O.T. It plays to this well. It's locked them out. They have 4 players. This retake looks very tricky. Good strike there, but Sunny was already the walking wounded. Oscar is the big challenge, and they claim that, but time is ticking. I doubt they're going to get much further. They're taking guns away. They're still making it annoying for mousesports. Christian.
That's so cool that from B.O.O.T though, those 2 players right at the end, and you don't normally see that kind of presence of mind. Winter and Benkai. Winter just helping his buddy out, making sure that he's able to survive with that M4. Because of the damage Oscar done in the previous round, B.O.O.T doesn't want to go for that because they know it's a losing situation. They'd lost a player in towards T-spawn, so they spotted the 2 players wrapping around towards mid. They know if they go for the retake, there's no chance to defuse because lack of kits, lack of utility, and the 2 players from mousesports that are going to be able to take him out from connector. Call for the save, and you take 3 guns away from mousesports, but you got to keep your own rifle, so you still get a battle and a nice tactical pause here to talk things over.
Yeah, I mean, this is surprisingly fun. I haven't cast CS like this in a while, you know?
Yeah.
Online CS doesn't feel like this.
It doesn't feel like this at all, does it?
it's a world away, and we are a world away. If you are just tuning in, you're wondering what the hell's going on, we are currently in Sydney.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of which, that's a good point to bring up.
Thank you.
I did want to...
Thanks, Jason.
In case you guys didn't get it from IEM Sydney, we are in Australia. No, but it goes back to what Chris said, is like, you know, every once in a while he realizes that he needs to pick up the energy. As that leader, you're kind of the one who's expected to get everyone a little bit more animated, a little bit into the game. And it's no joke, it becomes a meme. Some of the jet lag, some of these players are going to have low energy to start these games out. They got to build into it, and right now, mousesports taking that low energy and picking up the pace with a B-rush.
What is this communication? Winter doesn't know where the hell to look. They just got so overwhelmed. Mousesports just completely and utterly collapsed on that B side, but that's a problem. Tommy's right in there. That could have been the bomb in a really awkward spot, but for now, mousesports stay alive on very low HP. They do make it work, but what miscommunication was going on with B.O.O.T then? Maybe just not expecting it rushed. I don't know, but the crossfire was just not in the right place.
Yeah, a little bit, got a little disorganized, didn't it? Not able to set up those crossfires as they were jumping out the window. I think they were surprised that mousesports was coming through their Molotovs and their counter nades to start things out. That was kind of the big thing. B.O.O.T thought they were going to have a little bit more time to kind of prepare for that hit. Caught off guard entirely. Even so, Tommy was in a position to kind of make a play there and just misses 1 kill. So back to the save, which we know has been so deadly. mousesports have already lost 2 of these rounds against the Deagles.
They don't have armor this time, though.
Yes, and there's only
there is that.
2 Deagles on the board as well.
If you lose it now, then
There's no excuses there.
No, it's like the others. I'm like, yeah, they played that really well, but now it's like, please don't. Come on, mousesports, keep it real clean. They've gone back to that nice little default A hit, 1 man lurking in the top of mid. They've gone back to the basics. That's a gap in the smoke, and oh god, that's a shot and a half. Chris J goes down.
This round just got dangerous with that 1 kill. Look at the style that mousesports is bringing. They wanted to push the bomb alone to the bomb site with that pickoff. With the bomb on the ground, there's no utility to block the choke point. Sunny in a battle for his life, and he's doing well, but how much longer can he last? I think that kill might seal it. So much attention for B.O.O.T on towards mid is going to give mousesports the freedom to take over that A site. B.O.O.T not able to keep their eye on the bomb, and Impression now going to get tagged, and he's going to be forced away from the action. Yeah, forced into retreat.
Where's he off? Winter. Oh man, Impression. Yeah, gonna try and keep hold of the gun. I can imagine at this point, but there was a second where I saw that going wrong and it scared me, Jason. It scared me.
It's exactly that idea. If mousesports, if you're going to throw those smokes and you're going to send just the bomb into the site to get the plant down, if he goes down, all of a sudden you're scrambling because you don't have the utility, you don't have the smokes to resmoke. You used them all in the initial execute and they all fade away. And then you've got to battle your way in against some of those Deagles, and that's where it can get dangerous. So 7-5, mousesports holding a slight lead. If you remember, this is a map at Marseille. They talked about that being a disappointing event for them. I think, if I remember correctly, their opening game was against, oh, it was the other Serbian team. I can't remember their name anymore. It's been a long time. It's been 2
with
weeks.
Hunter in it?
Yes, and they actually had a 12-3 lead in the first half, and they actually brought down to a 16-13 win. So they've had some struggles closing out games in general, but specifically on this map. At Marseille, they had 2 times where they had 12-3 leads on Mirage, and really had a tough time kind of closing out those maps. Maybe they'll have an easier time if the score's close in the first half.
Maybe.
Things work in weird ways.
CS is a weird game. If you have that one-sided half, you know that the other team's going to win the pistol minimum and then the first gun round. And then it's game on again. Just so you know. But right now, we can have a little look at what we've seen thus far. Bit of mid-control being taken by mousesports, a lot of presence. Put their bombs even in middle as well. Got the 1 man over by Palace, and that's about it. So I'm going to use this as a bit of a launch pad for the rest of the hit coming in. We've got 1 player working their way up through short, that being Sticko. Sunny's there towards connector. But not necessarily aggression from B.O.O.T, but they've kind of played closer towards ramp. They've got 1 in sandwich. And again, mousesports get given a lot of control here. I'm wondering what they do with it. I'm wondering if B.O.O.T are aware of it. Clearly, they have to be. Sadly, Impression couldn't quite adjust well enough onto the second, giving Sunny that fight that he wanted. Now, Benkai's still in a really tricky spot. Can be awkward, but that's a problem. Ro8 out-positions him. Again, if you're going to go for this hit, if they come from one of these positions, you're great. But if they get that split right, you know you're screwed. Splash can't really get much done here. It's Winter trying to play back in, but the closer they get, the more potential begins. Sticko strikes, knife to the back, and we're down to 2.
Kits on both players and a smoke on Splash. We're going to go for this. There is 1 player on Catwalk they're going to have to worry about, but Sticko can just essentially bait his teammates over towards A ramp. They can just double peek this, and actually out in the open, Sunny catches Splash off guard, not expecting to peek at that exact moment, and he closes it out with a double kill. 8-5, mousesports. Kind of bubbling through the early stages of this match, but they've really grabbed control of it down the stretch. 14 kills on Sunny, 11 on Oscar. He had that brilliant 1 versus 5 where he gets 4 kills only to lose out. Stika with 10 as well. And B.O.O.T seemed to have lost some of the momentum and maybe artificially close, as two wins with Deagles is going to do that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no 2 ways about it. You've got to be able to kind of take it for what it is. There's been some curious moments that have played really well for B.O.O.T.
I think there's also been some cool things that they've done, though, as well. It's just, you know, not always translating into the victories, which is all that matters in the end of it.
Pretty much. We'll see. We'll see what they can come up with. We'll see what happens in the second half coming up, of course, as well. That could be a fun one. See if that maybe...
I flew through Singapore on the way here.
Really? What did you make of it?
It was rated the best airport last year, 2017. Number 1 airport. I don't know. They do rankings. They had like a butterfly display. They have a couple little gardens throughout the airport. It's quite cool.
You're a sensitive boy, aren't you?
Do you love my butterflies?
It makes the airport for you.
Butterflies and flowers. You know me.
That's Jason. Ooh, all right, pretty things aside, we have a round that has gone badly before for mousesports, but this time they're all right. For now. Still, they're all right. It's Winter and Benkai. Deagles galore. And sadly not in the right place nor at the right time. Benkai could do something fun here, but it would need something insane to happen.
He should go for the knife. Just for, you know, the hell of it. Just for giggles. I think Ro8 is slowly moving far enough away to where it's not the most possible thing, and yeah.
Chris just Spider-Man.
I was gonna say that's gonna feel really uncomfortable if you're Winter. You're just like, all right, well that happened, and yeah, no chance for the knife now, but gonna get an easy headshot on the side of Ro8's face. AK in Benkai's hands, gonna go for more. Time to deathmatch. He spots out Stiko in towards connector. Benkai gonna need a Bankai if he wants to win this one.
I already got my puns out early.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't notice it. Which one? What'd you have?
Winter being cold and alone or something, depression needing to make one, that sort of
Oh yeah, those were
really
pretty good.
low hidden ones. I wasn't going for the highbrow, I'll tell you that now.
I don't
we
know.
could
I don't
work
know
on
if
it.
it's highbrow. It's a nice little like anime reference. There, I don't know.
Yeah.
For all the anime watchers out there,
I thought you'd go for the.
it's one of the 2 animes I've watched in my life.
What's the other one?
Dragon Ball Z. I think everyone's seen Dragon Ball Z.
I actually never really watched much of it. Like I've never
Okay.
actually like sat down and watched it. Like I was like Akira and all like the edgy Mimi stuff when I was like 14. I was like,
I actually did watch Akira as well.
Akira's banging,
It's
to be
alright.
fair. Like, I'm a big fan. Big fan. Anyway, also, Stiko's gun kind of looks like Akira. I actually named it after that. Anyway, splash! Finds Oscar. That's a big scalp to claim. And there's Sunny's gun. Also looks kind of like Akira. You see what I mean? Like the aesthetic, the red. And the
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, you got. I just want to make sure. All right. All right, jet lag.
Listen, I don't see it. I'm gonna give it to you though. Winter is-
Let's go. This time, let's hope they can hold B a little better. Last time, we saw those crossfires crumble pretty quickly. This time, however, the AWPs are coming through. Obviously, they have a couple more of them to work with, too, to be precise. Ro8, though, in danger, sprayed into, but it's Stiko to come up with the goods, and they're still alive. For only so long, it seems. Splash is there, and he's watching like a hawk. Stiko, I don't think he's going to get away with that. No, he doesn't, indeed. It is going to be a competitive half. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, I think it's making us happier than we expected to be. That's a really cool half from B.O.O.T. They got bailed out by winning a couple rounds of those Deagles. Overall, a good half for them. mousesports with a slight lead, and we'll see what they can bring to the table in the second half. It's still going to be tough. So we're going to head to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get that second half underway.
Well, we are back getting ready for the second half, and a nice crotch shot there to get back to the groups.
In the wetsuit as well. It's a beautiful thing. There's
gotta hope it's a
jellyfish, there's
warm
shark
day.
in those waters. There's some dangerous things.
Yeah, and we've seen some dangerous deagles coming out of that team on your screen. They've looked a little bit more, I guess, impressive than I expected. The scoreline dictates as such. Again, though, a couple of those kind of rounds that can go either way that clearly define this scoreline.
I think the big thing is, like, look at them on the screen. They're all fist bumping, they're smiling, they're having a good time. And that's the big thing. You don't get blown out in the first half to the point where you just feel there's no hope, right? That's like goal number one for B.O.O.T. in this, is still be competitive going into the second half. And they've done exactly that. And we're going to see what they have on the T side. mousesports has to be really careful in this match. If they let B.O.O.T. gain some kind of momentum, just an awkward reset at any one point, and B.O.O.T. could grab the lead on the T side. They're going to challenge in mid. mousesports. Sunny going to start falling away. They have a triple stack here. They have a lot of crossfires, and Ro8 is going to make it work.
Yeah, Oscar's chomping at the bit to join in, but he doesn't need to yet. Ro8 has got that under control. Winter gets left very isolated. Oscar gets a little too ahead of himself, plays it through the smoke on shore and gets punished for it. There may be a chance now for this B hit to actually come through. No one's that close by. And B.O.O.T. seem to have realized this. They're going to get a plant from this.
It's all on Winter. The decision he makes is going to be huge. If he gets caught here, he jumps off the ladder, avoids the damage. Now he can duel. Now he can run away as the reload comes in from Sunny. You can see he was positioning to still apply pressure, and Ro8 is still getting headshots. That's 3 for him in the round. He's been magnificent, and now Winter has to hustle to help out his teammate, and it's just not going to happen. They're into the B bomb site way too early, and there's no chance. Ro8 shuts him down.
Yeah, Splash barely made a ripple in that round. He was just kind of caught reloading in the most awkward position possible. But there was a potential for that then. There was a real bit of a threat on board, and that's where you see these games kind of start to get a little bit scarier. You know, it goes that, okay, first pistol round, all right, that's something. And then it's like the first gun round, and you're back in the lead for B.O.O.T. But for now, that has been stemmed, that's been controlled. That is not the case. It's mousesports who get the money building, which means, you know, one step closer to getting Oscar up on the AWP eventually. Not going to particularly rush for that. He does have the Galil for now coming out. So.
You can see though that pistol round is kind of an indication of how mousesports is going to be aggressive. They're going to challenge a lot, especially in towards mid. Here's a little bit of a run boost, fancy footwork, and Chris J get a challenge with a pop flash from his teammate. He's going to go for more, and he keeps peeking, even though he's only got 16 HP. Sunny's gone down, but the rest of mousesports is challenging as well. Although mousesports has to be careful. They've been dwindled to just 3 players, and Chris has no HP to fight. And look at Benkai's position. This is beautiful. He can hold them off. The bomb's going to rotate around. They don't have utility to get into the site, but Benkai just one shot, and Winter still at top mid doing all the work.
Oh, Winter, good work from him to at least keep him busy as well. Taking them down to 2, it's a 2v2. They do have a kit still on mousesports, so even with this plant coming in, which shouldn't be able to be denied, the retake potential is very much there, but we've seen what these guys can do with the Deagles. We have 1 Deagle and 1 Glock, so pretty much on Benkai. He has no armor and no utility.
Look how far away Stiko is. He's just exiting the B bomb site now. This is really sketchy for mousesports. A 2-on-2, and they're spending a lot of time getting over into position.
I guess they didn't know where that final player was. Maybe a bit of, I don't know, a misread on that, because they really did take their time. But here comes that retake. Shots come in as Ro8 to connect towards Splash, and now Shawley gets checked on Benkai! There was a chance for that. Ro8 turns around and deals with it, picks up the kit, and the defuse should be his, but that's heart-stopping sort of material.
Holy hell, it certainly is. And 4 kills for B.O.O.T. and a plant. That's huge. They're going to buy into this round. Certainly look at the money. They are pretty loaded, all things considered, and mousesports going to have their first real test. No AWP. They're scrounging together whatever they can, and it's going to be decent, especially considering Stiko goes down to the SMG to afford the utility. Although him and Sunny choosing not to buy kits can be dangerous prospect, but AK's an op on Splash as well.
Okay. All right, let's see the plan here. B.O.O.T. looking for that opener towards B quite swiftly. Splash going in for it, does receive the damage of the nade, gives away a little bit, but not too much. We're going to see who's on the other side is Stiko, and I'm pretty sure Chris J.
You're fine to take that damage if you're Splash as well, because you had the opportunity for that pick, and you could see the rest of B.O.O.T. lined up to take advantage of it if he were to find it. Still going for more. There's a gap in that smoke, a very small one. And they're just going to go right through it. Here come the flashbangs. They get stuck into the window, but they've dropped out. Now they can start pressuring this B bomb site. Wall of smokes is up, but Chris is going to handle things. His teammate goes down, but he's still alive. And now the fast flank from Oscar comes in. They've lured B.O.O.T. into a trap. There's no chance now.
Great work from Oscar as well. Didn't even pick up the up that he knew was there. Took his time, didn't want to rush it. Didn't want to get that being taken away from him. He finds a 2. And the bomb's obviously not planted, so that's you dealt with. Chris J pinpoint precision coming in with the silenced M4, not particularly used that much anymore.
People have been going away from it now, haven't they? Starting to.
Very rare. It's kind of nice to see every now and then. But he handled it well, considering. Obviously, 2 kills, and then you kind of put in the predicament of 2 more players coming towards you. And he's well set.
That's a pretty cool hit as well from B.O.O.T. That could have been an interesting timing if you're mousesports and you're just not expecting anyone to come through that smoke, just feeling the alt pressure and a flashbang catches you at an awkward moment. Doesn't work out for him. 12-6. Mousesports have doubled up the scoreline of B.O.O.T. And this is where we mentioned a couple of the cool things we've seen out of B.O.O.T. throughout this game. This is where it stops mattering so much. Like, there's only so many silver linings you can have. Not able to convert enough of those little tricks, enough of those cool plays into victories. Even just the 2 force buys won in the first half that really give them this decent scoreline. Winter's going to fall any moment. No damage dealt to the mousesports side, and they're going to be sitting very, very nice. Build up plenty of money. Really outlasting that second round danger. There's Ro8 with the final kill of the round. 13-6.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to get a little bit more usual, but the buy coming in now could be the determining factor. This is a huge round, obviously.
It's the last one they're going to have, really.
Pretty much.
If they can't win this one, then it's just kind of you're enforced by every single round territory until you lose or win or force overtime.
Very
Those are the
definitive
options
statement.
of the game.
Thank you, Jason. Tier 1 analysis once again. But yeah, pretty much. This is the swing point. If they get this, all right, it's still game on. There's still potential. You still got a couple of rounds to play with. Your money keeps going. If you don't, you get kind of forced into that spot. Now, we do have the glass cannon up on Splash. Good flash. Allows one through. Oscar almost came out of that at the right time. Could have connected something, but it's Chris J. Very ahead of where they expected, slowly walking their way towards underpass. He is a little isolated, he's a little stuck there, but he wants to get out. The smokes are good for it. Flashes are so good. Look at this, he actually makes his way through towards connector. They're lost in the smoke, but Splash did find Oscar. Now that's quite impressive.
Well, Chris is going to pick up the AWP, and he's no slouch with it whatsoever. That is some pretty dangerous tracking from Oscar in that window, going for that first player running across. Could have been picked off by an AWPer if there was one there, baiting for that exact position. Chris has got to know there's at least 2 in mid. Molotov comes from beneath, and he spots one at top mid. So the calls ring out. Stico is going to stay in ladder room, and Chris again almost caught, but add one more player to the tally in mid, and now this defense is being forced away. Look at the positioning. Look at the play Tommy's making here. Got one player exposed on top of the balcony and not searching for that. Sonny's going to be able to find the kill and disappear down the ladder.
See if they make any noise. Good timing on the Molotov. That's going to buy you a couple of seconds. If that spreads any further, Benkai could get hit. Even one hit will give away the game. So being relative, pretty sure they've made a step here. Yeah, they're going to hear this. Sonny knows what's up. Going to see the Molotov. The call's been made. Finds one, and he's actually going to find more as well. Great work from Sonny, the gatekeeper towards A. Not going to let anyone in. 4 kills for him in the end. And there could have been potential there for maybe an upset for B.O.O.T. to kind of claw that back, but well controlled.
Yeah, really nice positioning from Sonny. That first kill, watching Tommy make his play over towards jungle and transitioning towards top ramp, and B.O.O.T. wasn't expecting it whatsoever. A couple players getting caught off guard. That first player coming out ramp, not ready for Sonny's position to the left, and the opening kill from Chris J, pushing underpass player coming down the stairs with his knife or utility out. Back to the Deagles. In many ways have been more dangerous for B.O.O.T. than the rifles have been in their hands. And Ro8 going to get his chance here. They're jumping out. That's a great headshot. And he catches the follow-up as well. Eventually goes down. He was surrounded. But Sonny's here, and he was confused how he didn't get that kill, and he's going to be punished.
I love the way he switched off because he was so certain he was dead.
He was
so
100% certain, wasn't he?
Yep, there was. It is going to be 15 rounds for mousesports. The first half did make it look like we might have had a bit of a matchup on our hands, something to really get our teeth into, but it has gone the way you kind of expect, especially on a map like Mirage. Mousesports have that depth, they have the regimented structure. I did expect Oscar to have a bigger play in this. That style he has of the confidence and the crazy way he plays out sometimes could have come through. We saw that in one round, almost the ace coming out. The 4 kills were big, but that's kind of subsided. It's players like Sunny who've been having a really big impression. But this is it, 15-6. It's your last go of things.
What's the strategy you call for your last round? It looks like a hit towards this A bomb site, actually a contact play, maybe just one flashbang over. Tommy seems like he's waiting for it. No, he's just going to go for it as the smoke comes out. Didn't spot the barrel. We saw it, but he didn't, and now Sonny's going to be able to make his play. Double kill for him. That's the punish of the mistake. But Impression gets a double kill to follow it, and he's found an entrance into that A bomb site. He can get things planted. It's going to be a default inside of the bomb site, so not really planted for his teammates to be able to stop any kind of defuse. And he's only got 7 HP. Surely one of these Molotovs is going to clear him out.
You'd imagine so. Sticko's just put his in. There it is. And there it goes. Sticko forces him into the crosshairs. Winter and Splash now left alive. Got the AWP on Splash, and they're both by ramp. It's pretty tricky to hold this. They still have smokes for the cross. They have everything, mousesports. Curious if they get away with anything here. Molotov comes in. Good shot from Splash, but the bomb is being defused. He's found 2. This is impressive work for the lineup. But I'm curious on the time. I think there's enough left for him. And lining up for a player like Sticko, he doesn't need help on this. And mousesports step in the right direction, get through the groups, look towards the next couple of games as well. It got a bit close on the first half, but they kept it under wraps.
Yeah, that first half made it feel like it was a challenge, and it really didn't end up being one so much at the end of the game. There was some cool things from B.O.O.T, but don't really pan out in the end of it. And yeah, that's kind of what we expect from mousesports. It is, I mean, it is worth saying, this is a team, like, even on these days where they kind of seem like to get slow starts, this is surprisingly, well, maybe not surprisingly anymore, but like one of the deepest teams we have in terms of their individual players. They've got a lot of really young talent.
Yeah.
I think if there was like a GM of the award of the year, GM of the year award. That's what I wanted to say. This is my profession, Lauren. Just sit back and watch the fireworks. Yeah.
Hit me.
The GM of mousesports would have gotten that award last year. This is a really interesting team that they've compiled, especially considering the departure of Nico. So, yeah, they just have a lot of different options in the way they can win these games, and obviously overcoming a slow start is huge.
Yeah, we can only hope to see more of that. If anything, that should get stronger and stronger as they go on. You've got to hope that they bound back from that Marseille performance, have a little bit more of what we've been seeing the potential come through towards in the next couple of games. Of course, there are more games coming up today, and they'll be coming up, obviously, on the A stream as well, and this is the B stream, where you get to see us on camera.
Welcome to the B stream.
Yeah, welcome to the B stream. Welcome. But yeah. This is also my profession, can you tell?
Yeah, I can.
We're super good.
Been a bit rusty. You've been over there in PUBG. Maybe not used to the lights and everything that we've got going on
no,
here.
they just put us in the dark cave.
Yeah, all the audience, you know, the spectacle.
Are you saying we don't get audience? Is it we don't give views for PUBG? Jason, why?
I didn't say that.
Why have you said that? Why have you hurt my feelings? No, yeah, you're right. I mean, but this is fun though. This bodes well. Maybe B.O.O.T can keep kind of pushing teams a little bit. I mean, it's good to see more competitive teams, and as they said, they're just happy to get a shot to play more teams outside of where they kind of be used to playing, outside the normal region, get to these stages, get to these opportunities, and that's what you're going to be looking forward to at these events. Again, you kind of expect it to be to this result, to this degree, but then you'll get, eventually, you hope you see that Tyloo result, right? You get to see those things eventually.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who they end up playing in the bracket as this kind of goes on. Who's the? I think they're playing the loser of Energy and Astralis, maybe. I'm not sure. It's pretty close to being tied up for an A stream update, I guess we'll call it. I think it was 11-12 last I saw in the favor of Astralis, so that's cool. We're gonna go to a quick break, so make sure you keep your eyes on the A stream for that matchup.